and welcome to Embodying the Universe of Kindness as You. We've got Reed Garcia on with us and Liam Phillips. Hey, Reed, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. Doing pretty good. How are you, Matt?
Oh, I'm really well. Excited to do this call.
Me too. I'm so grateful that you invited me to this.
Yeah. Well, Reed and I go back quite a ways. We started our own personal development pursuit and adventure in the same sort of time zone. I was a few years ahead, but in the process, we just recognized how much we had to gift each other as people, looking at how kind could you actually be, and all the places that we weren't kind, and how much is here to offer. The planet is just like beaming with kindness and so forth. Hey, look, we just got Liam came on too. Liam Phillips, my man, how are you?
Good. I'm in Japan at the moment. It's very cold.
Very cold. Very good. Awesome. Awesome. So, Liam, you're an access consciousness facilitator, and what's your target and your goal in life?
Oh well, I don't really have a goal because I know that goals create a box that stop you from actually being able to create anything past the goal, and then you sort of get stuck. So I like to use the word target. So thank you for that. My target is to change the fucking world.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
What's yours?
Yes, mine's to create a place that's like where kindness is like the mode of operation. And it's a different place where everyone can choose to be whatever they want to be, and they never have to get judged out of it. And it's a tall target to look at, but up to this point in my life, I haven't found anything more fun to do than, everything else was a bit on the lesser scale of things. So thanks for asking.
Very
Um,
cool.
Mr. Garcia, Reed, our lovely third person on the call, you want to tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about you?
Well, about me, I am a body process facilitator, access consciousness body process facilitator, bars facilitator. I'd also call myself an audio and video enthusiast because I love to create graphic design. I love photography. I love playing with images, and me and you, Matt, we've done some video and audio video stuff together, and really enjoyed doing that. Some other live stream stuff. So
Yeah, I really did too. Thoroughly enjoyed working with you, Reed, on the live event coverage we've done in the past. Because I've been a photographer for many years, and part of that being a photographer around our content of the call, which is embodying the universe of kindness as you. I mean, how many people does that just like really call out to? And how many people, either of you guys, we're happy to hear from you too. How many of what are some experiences that you, Reed or Liam, have where you're recognizing kindness or the absence of it has actually been a total stopgap for anything actually being created in your life?
That's
mm,
something that you said there was the lack of kindness, and that was
Hmm.
something that I grew up in, and it's sort of like a vibration that I know really well. So when there's a lack of kindness, it's sort of like that's the first thing that I notice when I walk into a room. And in the past, I used to judge me for it because I thought there was something wrong with me. Because I couldn't
oh, did we just?
find any
Did
kind like me.
there he is.
Did I go away?
Yes, you
Yeah.
came back.
Oh, I was something brilliant. I said, "Oh well." So I was just saying that the vibration of kindness was, or lack of kindness, was something that I could sense when I was a kid. And whenever I walked into a room, immediately feel this lack of kindness there. And then I would go to the wrongness of me, because I brought this metaphysical point of view that everything is a mirror of you. So if there was a lack of kindness in the room, I thought it was my fault because I wasn't being kind enough. I mean, how weird is that?
Right. Exactly. Right, right. Yeah, same thing, Liam, on that same note. It's like I grew up and I was sure that the mode of operation that I grew up in was kind because that's what I was told, and I didn't have any reason to mistrust or misbelieve the people I grew up with, you know, my parents and my family. And in hindsight, it was terribly abusive, which, you know, is why we're having this call so we can give you guys some tools to find out where the abuse is, what the abuse is, and if you actually want to choose something different, which I doubt you will. Just joking. Read what.
So I grew up a lot around a lot of people that were really unkind to themselves. And when that's going on, when they're unkind to themselves, they're unkind to other people. And that's what I saw like most of in the world. And for a while, I believed that unkindness was the way, like that's the way the world worked, like that was the only choice, the only spectrum of this world. And so now it's, nice that now that like, I meet you, I meet other people, and now Liam here, um, just to being an invitation to something totally different, that kindness can actually create something different, and that we can actually create kindness.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's a great question, Reed. If we turn it into a question, is that, what kindness can I be in this situation that's going to change it? Because it's like, I think kindness is sort of this element that is part of consciousness. Um, so so when we step into more kindness, we can actually create more consciousness with that, because people don't shut down when there's kindness. People shut down when there's unkindness and separation, and separate from the consciousness that we all truly be. So that's a great question to start off with, or a
Yeah.
tool that we can give to people right away.
Hmm. Yeah. You want to say that question one more time?
Yeah, I'll expand on it a bit. What kindness can I embody right now that will change this right away?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great question. What kindness can I embody here that will change this right away? And what if it truly was? I mean, how many times do you walk into a room of many people and you immediately can single out the one or two or three or however many people are there that are operating from this space of embodying kindness? And you immediately want to gravitate towards them. You know, you're just like, I just want to know what it is you're choosing. Does that happen, for you guys?
Well,
Yeah.
yep.
Right. One of my favorite pieces to think about, or that explains more astutely what kindness is, because I honestly didn't know, is really shows up in nature. Now, I'm not actually saying I think you should go be a deer and frolic through the wilderness, but the energy of them, it's like the one place where they're never actually asking how unkind can I be, because they're this energetic, um, that's just amazing. And then there's the other side of that is, like a hurricane or lightning and so forth. It's like, what if that's also a way that nature and the earth, um, actually chooses to be? Have you ever seen like Friday afternoon and everybody's complaining that it's raining or that it's awful weather, and the earth's like, oh, it'd be much kinder if I just didn't storm and do what's awesome for me? It may happen, but typically the earth is like this potency of energy where we often confuse ourselves as a culture, a planetary culture, that being strong and potent is like a misuse of our energies and it's not kind. But I mean, it totally could be. And then what do we end up with? A culture full of impotence, pun intended and not. So, so everything, anyone who's on this call that is not familiar with the Access Consciousness tools, these are tools that I use on a regular basis because they change anything that's sticking me. And we're going to use a clearing statement here in a moment, which can, if you'd like a more in-depth overview of what the clearing statement is, you can go to www.theclearingstatement.com. Liam, would you give your fabulous one-liner on what the clearing statement is? I love yours. It's the best.
Oh, I have one. Yeah, oh yes, of course. It's like getting all your shit in the toilet and flushing the button, and whoosh, it all goes away.
Right. Yeah, as I said, I love his particular version, you know. Yeah, and then are you going to sit around and, you know, hang out for the rest of the day? You've got rid of all the shit, and that's all the shit around whatever topic it is. So, what topic were we talking about that I was going to run the clearing statement on, guys?
Just everything that brought up, probably, maybe.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
That part.
Well,
Everything that brings up, can we destroy and uncreate times a godzillion?
Yeah.
yes.
Good, bad, right or wrong, puck and pod, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds.
Woo.
Wow, that brings up a little bit of energy.
Just
So
a little bit.
yeah, when you run this. All right, I'm going to take a side thread on that. Anything that makes you laugh, you guys understand that is a kindness. Even if you're laughing at the most important thing in your life, that is actually a kindness to you. Do you all get that? It's like, it's amazing that we try as a culture we try to like cry our way through to some, you know, impossible destination that's not going to happen without a whole bunch of tears, sadness, and sorrow. What if we were to laugh ourselves all the way there? Because laughter and it is not like the type where you deflect, but laughter and comedy where you're actually adding to the joyfulness of a space or a conversation is a subcategory of what kindness is. It's like a product of it. So would you all be willing to laugh at whatever it is that you won't laugh at the most?
Yes.
I'm going to guess, since I can't see any of the hands in the background, that that's a yes from everyone else. So everything that is, can we destroy and uncreate times a godzillion?
Yes.
Good, bad, right or wrong, pocket pod, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. It looks like we may have Christina here. Christina, would you like to come on and join our conversation? I'm just going to text her really quick here. By the way, anybody on this webinar can jump in just by texting in the webinar jam chat, and we'd love to give you some, you know, opportunity to actually bring what you have to the table and maybe change some things for yourself and everyone else on the call. Okay, Christina says kindness. Angela says I can't hear anything, and everyone else says I can see you guys. Okay, well, we'll just wait and see if anybody wants to come on as we go along. Thank you, Christina and Angela. Angela, I would check to see if your mute is on your computer. So, things I wanted to ask about what is the definition of kindness that you guys know and have? Now that you guys have spent a lot of time doing self-development and self-personal work. Reed, what does kindness mean to you?
Well, I was pondering that today, you know, deep thoughts today with Reed. And so I looked at it, and generally speaking, kindness can be seen as it's just like you're just really just kind and nurturing to something, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't use like a different kind of an energy, like a anger or a maybe not anger is quite the word, but like it's almost like an intensity. Like even an intensity, like if you told someone, "Hey, I don't want to talk to you right now," that could be a kindness too, because that would be a kindness to yourself if you don't really want to talk to that person.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
kindness might not be what you actually believe it to be, or what this reality tells you what kindness is. It's not all about just being calm and collective. It could actually be, like an intensity.
Mm-hmm. All right. So everywhere that all your definitions of what kindness is and what kindness isn't, can we destroy and uncreate all of those?
Yes.
Okay, all that is destroy and uncreate times a godzillion. Good, bad, right or wrong, pock and pod, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So, Liam, would you like to tell us about what you know about what kindness can be, what it is, and what it has been?
I don't think we really taught about kindness when we're children, other than what what it is from this reality's point of view. So if you have a some chocolate and you don't share it, then you're said to be unkind because you're not sharing. But I have a different point of view about that now. It's sort of like Reed. It can be kind to you if you really don't want to share that chocolate. It's not a wrongness. So I think kindness has this element of not having to be right or wrong, but being more of what you be in that 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it's like a lot of that's just like a willingness to actually get really honest and be clear and use the tools on what is kindness to me. And is it really kindness for me to slink off into the corner to allow some other people to have the energy they desire when it's actually not kind to you? Would kindness in that instance actually just be leaving, and going somewhere else, not making anybody wrong about it?
One of the things with this is when we try to make a definition. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
When you try to make a definition, you lose some aspect of what you're trying to define, and it becomes a bit like a prison or a lockdown. And so that question that you ask, would this be kind to me, is a really great way to step more into the kindness, because you don't actually have to have a predefined idea of what kindness is. All you have to do is ask the question, and you will be shown what that kindness is for you.
Yeah. Can you say that? What was that last word you said?
Then you will be shown what that kindness is for you. When you ask the question, what would be kind in this situation, then you will be shown what kindness is for you.
Yeah. Right.
Can we run a clearing and destroy and create everything that brings up and lets down?
Yeah. Everything that doesn't allow you to know what kindness is and allow you to be in the question, what is kind to me? Is this kind to me? Can we destroy and uncreate everything that brings up? And as Reed said, let's down times a godzillion.
Yep.
Good, bad, right or wrong, pock and pod, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. That's like a really key point. I know this is not a common subject that they talk about on webinars, sex, but what if they did talk about sex on webinars? Here's what I would say. It's actually a question around it. What if you were to be in the space of really inquirious question, like with your sex, however sex shows up for you as an example, would you find something very different about what kindness means inside of sex, sexuality, and sexualness? and everything that comes up around that, can we destroy and uncreate times a godzillion? And I'd love to hear your guys' any of your comments. As I said, you can put them in the chat box, or we can bring you on live on video too. Good, bad, right or wrong, pock and pod, all shorts, boys and beyonds.
It's funny when people start talking about sex, how everybody leaves the building. And unfortunately, I've literally got to leave the webinar because I've got to go and have a shower. And
Good.
so,
Good.
yeah, have fun talking about the kindness with sex and embodiment. And I look forward to watching the rest of this later on this evening when I get back home.
Yeah, thanks a lot for being on, Liam. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us.
What's kind to you?
Be kind to you.
A shower. A shower.
Okay.
Well, that was cool.
That was cool. Yeah, so Liam is currently in Japan, and he's a Access Consciousness certified facilitator, and he is teaching something called the Foundation, which is the core tools to pretty much magically change your entire life. I know it sounds a little foo-foo, but it's really straight up science. It's a way to release all of your limitations and sticking points that show up in your life chemically and magnetically in your body, so you can just like launch forward into something else that's really magical. Why do we call it magical? Because nobody else is going to believe it's possible, right? How cool would that be? How often do you do that, Reed?
Oh, just a little bit. Okay, I'm lying. Actually, probably that much. Rocket ship launch, boom.
Exactly.
I'm just getting excited by your talk. That's really nice.
All right. I'll try to be really calm,
slow,
cool, and collected now.
All right.
That would be really kind. No, but that's a great point. You know, when you're willing to be the super over the top, super excited, maybe that's ADD, you know, personality, and other people, it actually excites them, is that being the contribution of kindness to other people to say, hey, it's okay. You can be happy too, however it shows up for you. You can embody those childlike qualities that you had to turn off and stuff far, far away in a faraway closet now. You can do that because those are literally part of the group of qualities that we all have as infinite beings in bodies that are the creative energy of this world, you know? And if you're learning to embody kindness, how much is getting serious and getting your list in order and ticking off all the check boxes going to contribute to that? You know, is that kind to you? And if you can add some of that playful ridiculousness of being a kid into it, how much fun will you have? And if you're having fun, it's a kindness. So, Reed, I'm going to take a quick peek and read some of our questions here, as we've got quite a host of them.
Can we clear that, what you just brought up and let down?
Oh, yeah, right. Everything that brings up and everything that brought up for you, would you be willing to destroy and create everything? Good, bad, right or wrong, pock and pod, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Wow. How many things actually got brought up for you about acting like a kid with adults? More than one or less than one?
Just a few things, Matt.
Just a few things. Okay. Everything that is destroy and uncreate times a godzillion. Good, bad, right or wrong, pock and pod, all nine shorts, boys. Exactly. Okay, so here we go. Here's Manjit had something to say, and she said, kindness was taught to me and always being there for everyone else. As I've been playing with kindness for myself, kindness is honoring you and your body. Kindness is choosing words to empower us. Right.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, very brilliantly put. Yeah, thank you, Manjit. How much do we use kindness to actually curb everyone's capacities? Because we all have the opposite definition of what kindness is in some way or another. Actually, that wasn't a question, right, Reed? Perhaps we should ask our studio audience what their definitions of kindness are following Manjit's last reply. What do you say?
That sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
And if your name was Stan, I would say Stan, but I'm just gonna say Matt.
Yeah. So Christina says, I am a kid. Wow, that's kind of cool. Being willing to be that kid-like energy. And Lizzie, she's, I believe she's from Melbourne, Australia. Hello, Lizzie. Hey.
Hey, Lizzie.
She says, grr. I'm not sure if that's grr like a pirate or grr like a girl who's wants to change something. She's saying, it seems conscious kindness is turning my world inside out. Right, inside out. That's exactly what we're talking about. What this world, this place has told us kindness is, which is abuse and unkindness. So wouldn't it like turn you inside out? What's right about that is the question I would ask you, Lizzie. What do you have to say about that, Reed?
I would say it's just all twisted up in a knot. That's what this reality shows you. It's like you're supposed to be kind to other people. Well, how about being kind to yourself? I say that's a different perspective.
I love you, Reed. Oh my God. So Reed, one of Reed's biggest qualities or really pertinent qualities that I appreciate is that he is willing to step into that childlike energy that's generative and creative, that shows up as very playful. And when you're around him and he's in that energy, there is no way that you can be kind to yourself. I'm sorry, that came out backwards. There is no way that you can be unkind around him. Now, what if you chose something like that for yourself? What would that actually change for you, right? If you were willing to do it. And how many judgments does this world, this culture have about being an adult and having to subvert all of your childlike capacities? Does it have a lot of them, or just a few of them, or a shitload, a ton of them? I just made that word up.
All right, clear it.
Okay, right.
Hit the eject button.
Let's use the eject button and clear that. Everything that brought up and didn't bring up, can we destroy and uncreate? Good, bad, right or wrong, Pockapod, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. So plunge it, flip the handle, folks. So Cecilia says, kindness in some way has an undertone of having to give part of myself away. When I've been kind, I can get misinterpreted and people feel I'm trying to take something away from them or I'm mocking them. This is such a juicy point. So how much do we turn off our vulnerability and our willingness to receive everything we're asking for because someone comes to us with what seems like a kindness and we're just like, oh, kindness doesn't exist here, so that can't be real. And so we're just like, talk to the hand, yeah. And then you wait for them to go until they're gone and you missed it. Because how often are we thinking there's always something tied to acts of kindness? A lot of the time, none of the time, or all the time. And be honest, what comes up for you? All the time, some of the time, or not very much of the time?
Yeah, like there's something, if someone's kind to you, there's something there that they're trying to do or trying to get something out of you. It's almost like a give and take reality. So everything that is, can we destroy it and create that times a godzillion?
Yes, everywhere this is a give and take reality. All that is, destroy and uncreate times a godzillion, good, bad, right or wrong, POC and pod, all 9 shorts, boys or beyonds. Wow, there's quite a bit of charge around that. So I'm going to run that clearing process a couple more times just because it seems to be, relevant to this this particular webinar. And don't forget, you guys, you can come on anytime you want just by clicking the I want to come on. What was I doing, Reed? Got my back covered?
You were going to clear out something. I think we already cleared a lot of it.
Yeah. Everything comes out around this being a give and take reality. Everything that comes up or is let down, can you destroy and uncreate all that is times a godzillion?
Yes.
Good, bad, right or wrong, pocket pod, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. Ugh. This may apply to me also, Reed. What is a give and take reality? And is it a limitation to live in a give and take reality?
In my point of view, yes, it is. Because you're like, it's almost like you're expecting someone to give you something if you do this. If you're kind to someone, then you're expecting, oh, if I'm kind to someone, then this is the result. This is the expectation that I expect them to be. So it's almost like you're projecting someone to be something that they probably aren't even that to begin with. So everything that is, can we destroy it and create all that?
Good, bad, right or wrong, pock and pod, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. Wow, it's still got a little bit of creeper energy going on in there. Boy, wow.
And what if we could just receive kindness?
You tricky guy. Did you guys get that, Reed? He is a tricky guy.
I slipped it in there.
Yeah, he slipped it in there, What if you could just receive kindness?
Simple.
Yeah, do you get like a sense of space when that question's asked? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, a bunch. So everything that doesn't allow you to know kindness and to know not kindness and to look, can you destroy and uncreate all of the stories and points of view that you're using to make sure kindness never actually shows up for you, so you can prove to your parents that they were kind when they were really meanies? They didn't mean to be, they just weren't as smart as you. Times a godzillion?
Yep.
Good, bad, right or wrong, pock and pod, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. Woo! Wow. Cool.
And what are your definitions of kindness, and are they limiting to what you could receive?
Right. Yeah. So if you've got, like Liam said earlier in the call, if you've got a definition to kindness instead of a question around kindness, question creates more awareness and possibilities, and a definition will give you exactly what the definition says it will give you and nothing more. So would you rather, would you guys all like to dive into another level of question around kindness and how you can actually embody it? I'm gonna take it, since I can't hear anything, that everybody's raising their hand and saying yes. You too, Reed?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So everything that doesn't allow that, destroy and uncreate times a godzillion. Good, bad, right or wrong, pocket pod, all 9 shorts, boys. Abby. Woo! I think I just got taller or shorter, one or the other.
Or you're singing in your opera.
Singing in the rain. Oh. Right. Okay, boy, we have a flurry of comments here. So if I haven't answered your comment, don't worry. Lizzie has her hand up and would like to be invited as a speaker. So I'm going to see if we can bring this lovely lady on from Melbourne. Lizzie, I just gave you the heads up, and you'll see a pop-up on your screen, and you're more than welcome to join us on the Hangout now. So another piece I was that was like really inspiring me to do this class was my acknowledgement that people needed a place to start so they could find out if they actually were being kind, if they weren't being kind. Because it took me 3 or 4 years to even acknowledge that unkindness or abuse might be something else. So, Reed, shall we give them a tool?
I'd say go for it.
Okay. Hey, all right, there we go.
We have
Lizzie on. Oh
yay.
my God. Our first, I'm going to unmute you here, Lizzie.
I don't know how I did that. I'm so sorry.
You did it. Yeah.
Yay.
Our first live participant. Yay. Talk about courage. Thank you for coming on.
Ooh, I did just get all hot and uncomfortable. Yeah.
Hot and uncomfortable.
Nice.
We'll talk about that in another call after commercial break.
Yeah, let's do another one on that.
Yeah. Hot and uncomfortable. Boy, that will bring up a few things for the live studio audience. So Lizzie, tell us what's going on with you and what questions you have going on around kindness.
Thank you so much for asking. I have been noticing that kindness is easy and fun, and it just flows if I am secure with money, if I am secure in my environment, if I know I'm strutting stuff, throw any curveball into any of that, and allowance and kindness just goes. And I would really like to change that. I'd like to laugh more, and just seeing like what you're saying and listening to what people talk about for anywhere, anytime.
Yeah. Well, that's great. So let's start with a question. Let's see. What question could we start with? The first question that comes up for me around that is, you would not choose to be kind for what reason? And if you haven't used those type of questions, right? You'd be kind. You'd be unkind for what reason? You wouldn't choose to be kind to yourself and others for what reason? So everything that brings up around that, can we destroy and uncreate times a godzillion?
Yes, please.
Good, bad, right or wrong, pakapad, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Oh, I just had an amazing thought. Ready? So what you were saying, Lizzie, it's like then money comes up or you're not comfortable and then kindness goes out the window. Well, what if kindness was worth as much as money and comfort? What if we've got it a little bit confused because we're kind of cute?
Wow. Oh, okay. No, all right. Oof, that exploded.
Right. So everything that doesn't allow kindness to have as much or all the value that it actually is to create your future, to change all your possibility. Oh my God. What if kindness actually melts money and discomfort and all that stuff away? And when that moment shows up that you're just like, I want to kill everybody, and you're kind to you, it could change the world. Boy, I was on a ramble there. Yeah. Everything around that.
Clear that.
And create times a godzillion. Good, bad, right or wrong, puck and pod, all 9 shorts, boys. And beyonds.
Money gone. Does it take to get to the center of a lollipop?
All right, so same or different, Lizzie?
Oh, flippin', different.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. God,
great. I like how you said flippin' different. That's so different. I like that.
Yes. Apparently Lizzie is flipping different. So that was great.
Thank you.
I would be unkind for what reason? I wouldn't be kind to myself for what reason is like a different question. But that's brilliant. That's so brilliant. And that's like one of the reasons why actually coming onto a call with your questions, you are a unique and amazing being. And have your questions, your willingness to be vulnerable and show up with, i.e., dumb questions, which there isn't any such thing as, um, can transform everyone's life that will see this in the future. And why is that? Right. It's because, just like Lizzie was going to say, it's because when you have to be vulnerable to actually step into this space. You have to drop all your barriers. And when you're around someone else that does that, they're going to drop their barriers too. They don't want to just hang out with you being naked there. They want to be naked with you too. No, that may be a slight sidetrack, but
No. So, and that is something else that I've noticed is that a combination of things that's shown up for like consciously choosing kindness, and especially when it comes to sexual relationships, as well as I think something Cecilia was saying around the being mocked for being kind. It seems like I can't bring kindness, like it's into the sexual or the sex aspect of my relationships. Um, it's like I'm not matching. Yeah, again, that relating for everything flowing into all areas so that people can receive me. So I keep turning it down to be less kind, but still, yeah.
Yeah, well, how much is sexuality like how much a center point of unkindness in our culture? Yeah, and if that's the accepted, an accepted reality for most of the planet, then anytime you're gonna actually be in sex or be in sexuality or sexualness, you are going to be aware of that. And how many times have you become aware of something and thought it was yours? Like you were saying, Lizzie, you were having a hard time being the kindness or finding the kindness in sex. Well, is that yours? Or are you aware of what it actually is?
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. And everything that brings up, can we all destroy and uncreate times a godzillion?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like Reed. I had sex once, and well, what would you say to that, Reed?
Well, I actually had just a question. So, and it's like anywhere that you've limited your kindness based on what other people could receive, rather than it being a kindness to you to just be fully you.
Boy, could you say that again, Reed?
Well, okay. So everywhere you're actually, so it's like everywhere you're being unkind to you by shutting you off based on how much other people can receive.
Cool.
It's just worded differently.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
So everywhere you're turning off how much of you can be and receive based on what's going on around you, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all that is times a godzillion?
Yes.
Good, bad,
Sure.
right, rock, pockapod, all nine. Sports, boys, and beyonds. Okay.
And
thank you.
we haven't really talked about the "Who Does This Belong To" tool on here.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be a great one.
But who does all that belong to as far as how much you're able to be based on the level of receiving that people can actually receive from you?
Yeah, right. Wow, that's brilliant. Did you have something to say, Lizzie?
Thank you. Yeah, I don't want to interrupt, but because what this actually brings up is also for, because I've been playing with, because I'm still new to all of this, um, and so I've been playing with how to receive money for my kindness. I love bodies. I, I'm a bars facilitator, and been wanting to, I've been really desiring to find a way to bring kindness to even just to massage and the like, so that it's something where people can choose the kindness as a service. Does that make sense?
Sure, sure. No, that's great. Thank you for that. As a body worker, and I've been in massage for years and years, like 20 some years. The number one thing that you start with, and Reed has this too. He spent some time in getting his massage certifications, if I recall, way back. The first thing they taught me was like, don't get involved, don't be vulnerable, don't actually allow yourself to connect and engage with a person at any level that could be misconstrued as vulnerable. They're just like, get in there, beat their flesh, get all their myofascia, softened up. And so that's kind of how the rest of the world expects. But I kind of got tired of that. Um, in a huge way. So, like, for instance, when I get someone on the table, I am willing to get them turned on to inappropriate places because I realize that generative energy of turned onness, staying turned on, that usually has to be encapsulated only in a one-on-one or one-on-many relationship. If if they can actually receive that and are willing on the table inside of an hour session, it's going to change their entire body structure and they're going to love to pay for it. So my question to you, Lizzie, is are you willing to ask the question, what would it take for you to exponentially turn on all the clients that are willing to come to you? Oh, wait a minute. What exponential question of invitation of turn on can you be? There you go, right? That would literally show the world kindness is possible, and you don't have to get married. You don't have to make a big deal out of it. Everyone could do this with each other. And everything that brings up, can we destroy and uncreate times a godzillion?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Good, bad, right or wrong, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Hey, just a quick brief. Christina here would like to be invited as a speaker, so she may be popping on shortly.
I'm going to go shut some blinds here real quick.
Okie dokie. And so it's that level of inappropriateness. And I'm going to when I talk about when I get somebody on the table, I'm going to get them turned on as much as they're going to allow their bodies to turn on, which is going to challenge all of their control mechanisms. And it's also going to challenge all of their points of view that are coming up around what's right and what's wrong about being kindness. I mean, how many times have you been standing in a crowd of many people and somebody comes up and just brushes the side of their arm to yours or brushes the back of their hand against yours, and your entire reality melts and changes. And you turn around and they're gone. You didn't even catch their name. And that is this essence of kindness that could be as a body worker and as a world-changing personality if you're willing to choose it.
I had that. I got to receive that from some kids during the last couple of days. This beautiful, no barriers touch that was kindness. and
Yeah.
sexualness, and it was everything. Like they were just,
Yeah.
there was no wrongness in this kid's world, and so everything I got to receive is
Mhm.
just like it shattered and melted me all at the same time. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so a little bit for anyone who's new or might be seeing this in the future, sexualness is that energy you had as a child when you saw that beach ball halfway across the beach and you're just starting to get used to walking on your legs, going, wow, this is fun. Wow, look at that big thing. I don't even know what it is. It's a thing. And you're looking at that thing and you're like, what's it going to take to get you in my life? And that is the energy of sexualness. It has no right or wrong in it. It's just like it's that kid-like drive, like whatever it takes, I'm getting you in my life. And if you're willing to actually have that energy with everyone, now I promise a lot of people are going to find that it's right or wrong. And if you're willing to receive that right or wrong, you will become a walking, talking, transformational catalyst of the planet. Because how much of our reality is based on right sex or wrong sex or enough sex or not enough sex? A lot or a little? Truckloads. Heaps. Heaps and heaps of truckloads. You say that, Lizzie? I don't know if that's correct Australian.
Yeah, heaps and yeah, a truckload.
Okay. All right. So everything that comes up around that, can we destroy and uncreate times a godzillion?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Good, bad, right or right. Shorts, boys, and beyonds. Reed, did I sense you had some valuable content to contribute to that?
Nope,
No.
not
Just
not any words, just space.
yeah.
Space
Right.
cadet over here.
Space cadet. Yes.
Got my helmet on over here.
I've been wondering about that, because you've been a space cadet for quite some time. A
It's kind
highly judgeable offense, right? What if people knew that being a space cadet was a prerequisite to become an astronaut?
Whoa.
Right?
How cool is that?
Right. So you might Google to see if NASA wants you sometime soon. I'd love to look up there and see you flying by. That would be super cool.
Ooh.
That would be super kind. Okay. Okay. So, great. So, anybody on the call, has anybody got any questions about embodying kindness in the universe of kindness? And because questions are going to create like this, it's like this catalytic explosion that opens up all kinds of new things, just like Lizzie's questions and her vulnerability to ask things is like brought things to me I didn't even know in all of my all knowingness. Wrong. So anybody out there, you got questions, bring them to the table. And in the meantime, I'd like to give you guys all a new tool. And I thought, Reed, maybe you'd be like, you were kind of hitting on the energy of it earlier. Just, was that the who does it belong to tool?
Oh yeah, the who does it belong to tool.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. When you step into a room and it's full of like all these different energies, it's like this big soup and all this like unkindness or kindness or happy, sad, depression, it's all over the place.
Mm.
So this is a tool. Who does this belong to?
Mm.
Really help out.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
would you like to introduce the tool or say more?
Sure. So anytime you ask a question, once again, I can't reiterate how important this is for you people as you get more aware. This will be one of your right-hand tools, is by asking, is this mine or who does this belong to? you will immediately know if it's yours or if it belongs to someone or something else. Or, as often I find, I'm like, oh my God, I like pretending that I'm blank, blank, blank. And I say, oh, that's mine, doing this. So pick a subject. Like today, as I was getting ready for the call, there was a flurry of energies in my mind and I couldn't think straight. And I was sure I had an IQ of like -7.
Whoa.
I know. That's like you just wake up and dumbness happens around you. I really thought I was completely ill adept and stupid person. Now, it took me a while to actually get to that place where I actually could ask, well, is this mine? Because I've practiced most of my life thinking everything I feel, think, sense, and emote was mine. So it's exercising a muscle to ask that question. So it took me 3 or 4 times and asking it, driving down, and then just boom, my space returned, my vision cleared, and I realized that it didn't belong to me. So once you ask that question, you can just ask it, as Reed says, return to shitter. I mean sender. Return. Sometimes my mouth slips. I'm actually bilingual. Although some people might think something else. So if you're to have a deep, twisted feeling or sensation, you can just ask, is this mine? Here's my thumb. Is this mine, someone else's, or something else's? One of those things is going to be light. So if it's yours, use the clearing statement and say, Pak and Pod, everywhere I think anything is mine, because you're an infinite being and you don't actually have those things. If it's someone else, return to sender. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And if it belongs to something else, most of the time that means it's the earth, and you may have a slight case of energetic constipation. So just return it to the earth and your energetic constipation will abate. Was that too long, Reed? Okay.
No yes or no, but I'm just gonna give some thumbs up. Things are moving and shaking over here.
Good.
You asked the question, who does that belong to?
Yeah.
Even
Okay.
just being on this call. Woo.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're a huge contribution. Thanks for being on.
You're welcome, Matt.
Liam mentioned that he was just glad he had somebody to cover his back because that shower was calling him.
Oh yeah? Is he texting you right now? Oh, this shower is so good. I'm being so kind to myself. No.
That's exactly what he said. He said, this shower is so kind. And all I could hear was this kind of stuff going on.
All the lathering of
Yes,
flesh.
exactly. We have another question.
Texting in the shower.
Yes, so the next question is from Manjit, and she says, what is the difference between kindness and giving? And how do you know the difference?
Whoa.
You want to take this one, Reed?
Whoa, so wow. It's like, so what was it again? It was kindness and it was giving.
What's the difference between kindness and giving? Thank you for that question, Manjit.
Wow. Thank you. There's so much energy on that. So I would first go into like giving. When I perceive the energy of giving, it's almost like coming from a lack universe, a lack point of view. Like there's only so much here in this universe to give or to send or contribute to someone. So there's just that whole lack there. So it's almost like just a limited point of view, or I guess just an interesting point of view that that someone's functioning like that from a giving place, that you have to give something or you're giving something.
Mm-hmm. So,
and then, go ahead.
Yeah, so that rings for me too. It's like the idea of giving would mean that I'm going to reduce my energy. I'm going to take some energy and give it to someone else, which would leave me with less. Is that the same thing you're talking about?
Yeah, there you go. You said it in a different way. And it's like even giving like it doesn't even have to be like a present necessarily, but like, just even the holidays or someone's birthday where you feel like you have to give something to someone.
Hmm.
A present, you have to go out there and buy something at the store and give them a nice little present with a little ribbon on it and all this, stuff. But
Right.
then there's just other ways of giving too. Like it's almost like giving away you, like even just like in relationship, for instance, like you
Hmm.
you give up yourself. Let's just say you worked like an 8 hour day and then you come home and then you're doing the dishes, you're cleaning the house, and it's like there's this thing in the background saying you have to give because you're living with this other person or something, and then it's almost like you're unkind to yourself because you're quote unquote giving so much to that person rather than giving to you. In other words, like maybe you require actually a nap and that would be kind to you.
Mm.
So
Right.
can we clear everything that brought up and let down?
That's a good question. Let's give
Ooh.
it a try and see what happens.
All
So
right.
that brings up and lets down. Can we destroy and uncreate times a godzillion? Good, bad, right or wrong, pocket pod, all nine. Shorts, boys, and beyonds. So something that came up that I was curious about is when what would it take if you're actually giving to receive immediately everything, receive the same energy. It's kind of like if you were to flow energy out the front of you to someone in some form, maybe it's kindness, a hug, a money, a piece of cake, or something like that. Would you be willing to pull a piece of cake in, as you're giving it? So, I mean,
Mm.
we're infinite beings. Would we ever have this limitation of total power and or energy? No, we're not. And so where do we buy into the idea that since we have bodies, that they're going to eventually run out of energy, need sleep, and need to go to bed for half the time and go off into some other wonder world, where they actually have to recuperate from contributing. So everything that brings up for everyone, can we destroy and uncreate times a godzillion?
Yes.
Good, bad, right or wrong, pocket pod, all nine. Shorts, boys, and beyonds. Ugh.
Wow, great question. Thank you so much.
Hmm. Uh, do you have Reed, do you have the webinar jam chat room up on your right-hand side of the screen?
I don't.
Okay.
No.
No
Let's see.
problem.
Wait a second.
Well, while Reed is pulling that up, and Cecilia's had a lot of things that she's been contributing to the conversation, like giving may not be received. Would you be willing to give even if it isn't received and receive the energy that it takes to give from whatever you're closest to and the judgments that come up for you about not being received, right? Because if you're not received, is that some way that you're going to judge your own self-worth and start being unkind to you? Because judging yourself, whether you're saying, I'm hot and sexy, or, oh my God, I'm so fat and ugly, those are both judgments and they create the same effect. They make you have more sticking points. Kind of like a voodoo doll, right? How many needles could I shove through my voodoo doll? Exactly. Uh-huh. So everywhere that you are the doll of sticking points, would you destroy and uncreate all that is times a godzillion?
Yeah.
Good, bad, right or wrong, pocket pod, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And the clearing statement, when you say destroy and uncreate. The destroy part pulls all the pins out of your cute little voodoo doll, right? It's cute. It's not a smart one. It's just a cute one. And once you do that, there's all kinds of other things you can use, like the access bars and so forth, to clear it so it doesn't keep coming back. But how much easier is it to receive unkindness if you don't have a point of view about it? A lot or a little? What do you know, Reed?
How much is it gonna? It's gonna limit it a lot. If
Yeah.
you have a definition of anything, I would just say a definition of anything, kindness, of course. If you have a definition of what it is and how it's going to show up, you're putting it in a little slot. It's like putting a penny in a big jar and trying to fit everything through this little slot, and it's a limitation. So,
Right.
what else is possible?
Yeah, exactly. What else is possible? That was a great descriptor. So the difference between, here's another question. Could you talk about what is the difference between gifting and giving? And giving, the original one is, did we get to the second half of her question? Less energized. One moment, please. Your call is important to us. Please hold. Okay, the difference between kindness and giving. So Reed, you gotta really talked a lot about giving. So I'm gonna take the second half and talk about, so what is kindness? Kindness is when you give, it's like that spirit of generosity, and you give because you know there is no way in your universe that you're ever going to allow yourself to not receive everything you require. And it's never going to be a dependency of someone or something else. You're just going to receive it. It's like the onset of kindness is like the invitation and solicitation of magic to be your operating mode. So everywhere you guys don't want your operating mode to be magic, an invitation to the rest of the world. Can we destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Times a godzillion. Good, bad, right or wrong, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Whew. Wow, we just have like questions rolling in. So folks, I just want to let you know, if we don't get to your questions, it's not because we don't like you, it's because we like you. We like more questions. You know, one thing, Reed, I want to talk about is what are like the qualitative energies of kindness? Or the elements might even be a better way to say it. What elements do we find as kindness, define kindness to be? So, like for instance, when someone gives you something, whether it be tangible or intangible, and you receive it, and your whole world opens up, because the only way you were going to get into that person's world was to give them something with absolutely no strings attached, because they may have been living from this push-pull reality. And when you're willing to be that generosity of giving for no good reason at all, that can change the world around you. So
yeah, there's a difference there that you spoke of.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And Samantha says, when I'm giving, it leaves my body hurting. Contribution allows me to expand and energize. So my question to you, Manjit, is when you're giving and it leaves your body hurting, is there a question you can ask about that? What question would you ask, Reed?
Exactly, something like that. Like, what question can I ask here? Do I have a question?
Yeah.
What is my body telling me?
Right.
What am I unwilling to know
Hmm. Hmm.
or perceive or receive?
Sure. Yeah, those are all good ones. And acknowledge people, you're all going to have your own brilliant questions come up if you're willing to be in that space of vulnerability with yourself, and it's not always going to be easy, but it can be really generative to have uh, a real generative element to create the rest of your future with a lot more ease. So, um, oh, Reed, something I wanted to talk about that I was just remembering that got me all perky and excited was
Okay. What is it?
embodiment. How many people think embodiment means that you have a body? A lot of them, some of them, or 1% of them,
What kind of
or
body
most.
is in the word
Yeah,
embodiment?
embody. I'm going to get some things and then I'm going to trap them in my body, and then I'm going to call that the embodiment thingy. No. Right. So most people, from my experience too, is like they're like, oh, embodied means I embody it in my body. But what if embodying the universe of kindness was the willingness to be so expansive that your body did not act, it no longer had significance? Now, this is kind of weird. Okay. So if your body had no significance, but yet you were willing to be totally kind to it, how different would your reality be? So
Great question.
all the confusion that brings up for everybody, would you destroy and uncreate all that is times a godzillion?
Yes.
Good, bad, right or wrong, pocket pod, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Wow. How many lies do we have in our bodies? And how many of us like to hide our lies in our bodies so that we can be unkind to them because they're holding lies? But we put them there. You magical creators, tickle, tickle, tickle.
Uh-oh.
Everything that brings up, can we destroy and uncreate times a godzillion?
Yes.
Good, bad, right or wrong, pocket pod, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Praise Jesus and give me another jelly donut. Or something. Boy, that one had some charge. So what is embodiment? Reed, what do you know about what embodiment really is truly? What is embodiment?
Well, I think it's a thing to just be in question about, as long as you'd like to be in question about it. It doesn't seem like it has, like just get the energy of it.
Uh-huh.
Because it's for what I get from what embodiment is, it's like it's a space of being infinitely like in your body. It's like being the infinite being you are with a body,
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
and not being just the body. The body is not all the sum of everything. You get to play with your you get to play you get to play with your play with your body or play in your body.
Yeah. Go ahead. They're going to have their judgments. Either way, that's okay. You get to play with your body.
Yes.
Well, what if embodiment is actually the embodiment of all the molecules around you and beyond your skin? I mean, can you, if you spend some time with anybody for a certain amount of time, are you aware of what's going on in their body? Yeah, it happens all the time, your dog, your friend, your mate, your lover, your mom, your dad, whatever it is. And that is the space of embodiment. So that's true for everyone else, and you were willing to choose kindness as your modality, and just like, oh, is this kind to me? And stay in question with it. does it change the people around you? That, if there was going to be a definition, would be the one for embodiment. So everything that brings up where everybody actually knows what's going on in your world and your body. Can we destroy and uncreate times a godzillion?
Yeah.
Good, bad, right or wrong, pocket pod, all night. Shorts, boys, and beyonds, and everywhere where you're not willing to ask the question, well, what would it be like if I were to embody this entire reality? Would you destroy and uncreate everything that comes up or is let down around that?
Mm-hmm.
Good, bad, right or wrong, pocket pod, all nine. Shorts, boys, and beyonds. Oh, holy mackerel. That was a tremendous release. All right. Well, we are getting towards the end of our call. I want to just put a hello out there to anyone else who would like to. If you have any other questions or comments or things that you're looking to change around embodying kindness. And also talk a little bit about the difference between, I think I just went blank. That may be for a little bit later. Yeah. Okay.
It almost seems like we're just kind of like at the very end of this, and
yeah.
So
a lot of energy's moved.
So do you feel like this is about good, or is there another question that's popping on the screen?
Yeah, no, that's great. We had quite a few other questions. A lot of them were along the same line, so I think really we answered them. This video will be up. If any of your friends would like to view it, they just have to sign up with the original Facebook event, or contact me and I can give them a link to see it. It'll be up, I'd like to say forever, but that's really a long time. I'd say, at least 4 or 5 years. So some other stuff that's coming up that we're going to be doing shortly. As I talked about, my background is I'm a body worker and do some live event coverage. And I've got one of those things where I like do 12 things because I'm so ADD, right? I always need a bunch of things going because if I get bored, oh my God, you don't want to be around me. Oh. So I have all these things going on. And one of the things that I help people have more communion with in their lives is called Conscious Adventure Tours. And that's .com if you want to know more about that. And they're trips to give you tools, hands-on tools with your body fully there, so you can learn to take that energy that you have on a holiday and take it home and have tools to apply it to everything so you can change your entire life so you don't have to be on a holiday. You don't have to escape anymore. It can be a choice then. We've also got a call coming next week called The Adventure of Embodiment, which is also sponsored by CAT, i.e. Conscious Adventure Tours. So you can find these on my Facebook page. If you're not a Facebook friend, I would love to meet you. And if you're looking for transformational body work, I like to do that. And if you're really clear on something you need to change, drop me a private message, and love to chat. Be happy to give anybody a few minutes too, just to give you some questions on how to change things in your life. Because if you're truly being you, what would you choose? Reed, you want to talk a little bit about what you're offering and how you're contributing to the world as a catalyst?
Yeah, so, well, like I said at the beginning of the call, I'm an audio and video enthusiast, so I love to do graphic design, photography, and help you out with live streaming events. And so if anyone has any I guess inquiries about any of that, they can contact, or they can just go to my website, expandyourpossibilities.net, or they can just look me up on Facebook as Reed Garcia. That's about all I have to say, and I really appreciate this call. This is amazing. I'm so glad for everyone who showed up, especially you, Matt. Thank you for bringing this together.
Yeah, thanks, Reed. It was a real gift to have you on, man. Yeah, I appreciate the person you be. Yeah.
Thank you. Likewise.
Exactly. And if you want to know more about anybody, where you can catch me or anything about me at mattbochsler.com. It's BOCHS as in silly, LER, mattbochsler.com. So hope to see all you guys soon. And if you have any questions, as I said, feel free to private message either of us. We'd love to hear from you, and are always here to see what else is possible. And all the tools we used today were from www.accessconsciousness.com. Please check them out. They've got oodles of free possibilities and avenues to change your world. So be you, change the world, be kind, have fun. We'll talk to you guys. Bye.